Hello everyone and welcome back to my second redesign video. I just want to start this video by saying I apologize if there's any croakiness in my voice, but I am sick at the moment, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. But today I'm redesigning my OC Aamon. He's also the first villain I've drawn on this channel too. So Aamon used to be my main villain before Morgan, but they ended up swapping places, and part of that reason may have been his god awful design. I couldn't find a drawing of him, so I skillfully drew his old design in the corner so you can see roughly how bad it is. I do not know what went through my head designing him the first time, but I had to fix this. And as much as he annoys me, even he didn't deserve a design that bad. By the way, his design has not changed since I was like 10, so he's been in a long suffering. Anyway, let's get started talking about the redesign. So Aamon is a human who made a deal to get more powerful, which is why he had pink in his original design. I decided to keep the pink theme in his new design because I actually have no other character who is pink in their design like off the top of my head, so it makes him stand out, so I didn't see a reason to get rid of it. Other than that, the only other thing I kept from his original design is his makeup, which isn't actually his makeup, but it may as well be. I also kept the mark on his face that I forgot to include in the little chibi of his original design. Again, wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't forget something. The only thing I changed with the mark though is that it used to be black and I changed it to the color pink. I also did debate crossing it out or scribbling it out to show that like he abandoned his people and their god, but leaving it there and just making it pink is a level of disrespect that only Aamon is capable of, and more in character for him, to be honest. If you saw my Reagan and Kiora video, you may have noticed he has the same mark as Kiora on his face, and I explained the mark in that video, but basically there's a group of humans in my story that worship a minor god called Shalene, and all of those people get this mark tattooed on their face at a very young age. So let's talk about what I changed. Everything. I changed almost everything because my god, that old design hurts my eyes. Like, I get what I was going for, but I missed the mark by about 3 miles. So I demodernized his outfit a little bit. Sorry guys, no crop top. But also the crop top made no sense because he's literally one of the assistants to one of the biggest political powers by mortal standards in this world. I also got rid of the suspenders. Although I can totally see him wearing suspenders, I just decided for the sake of this outfit I'd leave it out. I also debated keeping his ponytail, but I decided against it because he's not about to get his hair yanked while fighting. And on that note, let's get to the elephant in the room. His hair. Okay, why is his hair grey and greasy in the old design? Listen, I don't think there's a problem with young characters having grey hair or greasy hair if it fits, but this guy is a little brat who can't stand getting blood on his white shirts, or mud for that matter. That's what the people under him are for. Also, his sister has always been blonde as well, so it just didn't make sense for him not to have blonde hair at this point. Also, him looking more like his sister is important, and I'll explain that in a future video that I have planned with another character's redesign. But his sister is not alive, and it may or may not be somewhat his fault. Listen, he was in a silly, goofy mood, and he only cares about himself, so, everyone throw tomatoes at him. I also ended up giving him dimples because I can, and it suits him. I gave him a mole as well, and it took about 10 minutes for me to decide where to put it, only for me to put it in one of the most basic places ever. So now we're at the part of the video where I talk about the character's backstory. So Aamon is from the same village as Kiora, with his family and her family being the respective heads of said village. Him and Kiora got along well, but were constantly competing, and all his free time was spent training with Kiora, sneaking around where he shouldn't be, and or looking after his sister who has always been very sick. So eventually, while doing one of his favorite pastimes, sneaking around where he shouldn't be, he finds a book talking about gods and familiars, and trading with the divine catches his interest. When he shows Kiora, who had always been better at magic than him, she's not willing to help him with it, so he pretends to drop it, but obviously he doesn't. So skip a few years into the future, and him and Kiora are now dating. And he's also still trying to summon himself a deity, but don't worry guys, it's for science. It's also worth noting that his sister is married at this point to a woman called Mara. Eventually, Aamon finds a deity willing to strike a deal with him, and that deity is yet to have a solid name. I'm debating currently, but Atlas or Cuivna might stick. Anyway, it's the deity of like memories and stuff like that. That's all you need to know in this context. So Aemon makes this deal and obtained what he wanted, and as a surprise to no one, making a deal with a deity that has anything to do with the mind would mess you up, and it did just that. Don't get me wrong, all the deity did was use his memories and what he already had in his head to change him. So in all honesty, he already had the ideas and what he wanted to do in his head. The deity just brought it to light, really. So Aemon had been planning on killing his parents and Kiora's for a while now because those hoes are staying alive too long and he wants to rule. So the deity just gave him a bit of an extra little push, which ends up also pushing him to not only do what he'd planned to do, but also setting the place on fire because he's extra like that. And also because, like, even if he became the head of this village, like, he'd still be worshipping Sheilin, and he's not about to fall below a minor deity on the power scale. So, obviously, your boyfriend burning your home to the ground and killing your friends and family puts a little bit of a strain on the relationship. So, Kiora's like, that's not cool, man. And Aemon's like, you want to go? And Kiora's like, meet me in the Tesco's car park. And they fight. And Kiora seems to win, and Aemon seems to be gone, dead, bye-bye. So she helps clean up the carnage and decides that she's going to leave the village. Now, obviously, Aemon was fine and pulled a Houdini and skedaddled out of there. Eventually, he meets Morgan by getting kidnapped and almost murdered by her, and because their goals align, they decide to work together. And lots of stuff happens, that's for Morgan's video, until eventually they decide that ruling a whole city isn't enough, and they want to get rid of all the gods too, cause why not? So Aemon puts on his flirty face again and manages to score Mammon's son and the Prince of Greed himself, Mo. I mean, you have to give it to him, he has game. Anyway, so he gets close enough to Mo to where Mo doesn't really pay attention to him, which, as in, like, isn't thinking, oh, he's going to stab me with a poisonous sword. So him being able to get this close to him allows him to stab him with a poisonous sword that has an unnamed poison on it because I've designed the plant that the poison comes from. I just need to name it, and I haven't because that's a lot of work, guys. And while said poison would kill a human in seconds, it only renders gods unconscious. By the way, it's important to mention that Aemon is not the one that obtained this poison. His little deity friend got him it because mortals aren't able to obtain it by themselves. So, so him and Morgan submerge Mo in this poison so he can't wake up, and they can now study the gods without worry. Well, until Mo gets out, but that's a story for another day again. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. And I think to keep it on topic, we should do the Irish word of the day as cuivna or cuivnakin, which means memory. I know, I'm so creative. Bye.